NTU has got one of the leading graphic design courses in the UK. The course is growing massively. The student numbers have gone up and its reputation is growing as well.
And I think the graphic design course has got a very good reputation both nationally and internationally. I think graduates are beginning to be recognised in small and large agencies. They're known for their creative thinking.
I went to quite a few of different degree design shows to kind of get a feel for what the work was like and what people produced, and Trent was by far like the best I'd seen.
So the kind of freedom to choose your kind of artistic kind of journey and was one of the main reasons why I kind of came here, especially because I didn't really know the specific field I wanted to go into at first.
We were aware that there was a limitation in terms of the opportunities we had for the students to realise their ideas and produce their ideas effectively in print. So our lead technician, Dan Radburn, had been to a print show and came back raving about the potential of OKI printers.
Well, I first realised there was an issue. We needed to be able to have a way of printing white. From doing research and going to a few trade shows, I saw that the OKI was actually well above what else was offered out there, and it specifically was a graphics art printer rather than a laser printer, which is exactly what we wanted.
Knowing the kind of work that our students wanted to produce and where our limitations have been previously, it was easy to write a business case for approval from our heads of department to the dean, all the way up to vice chancellors for approval. We could demonstrate a clear need for this particular piece of kit.
Part of my role, as I see it, is to find those solutions, and I wouldn't kind of look at something I didn't actually believe in either. So the OKI has been a really great addition to what we offer here.
An OKI isn't about a basic print room service, it's about a specialist graphics printer. The capability of the printer is quite unique in comparison to digital print, where we're not able to print white or spot varnishes onto coloured cards. That wasn't possible before we had that printer.
The flexibility of the media handling is exceptional. One of the benefits that we get from the OKI printer is the fact that we can put thicker media through it. We've been limited previously to about 220 GSM, which is a kind of cardstock but not a thick cardstock. So the printer that we've got with the OKI will go 300 and above for the thickness of the media that we can put through.
If we didn't have the OKI printers in university and I still wanted to achieve the printing of white toner onto a coloured stock, I'd probably have to screen print it.
The screen printing is where you lose control, and with the OKI it's more or less instant. So you can make typographical changes and you can change the layout without having to actually then go and rescreen, and the cost of doing that.
With my space project I did, which was on a really strange paper stock, it's almost like sand. It's like a plastic coated stock, but when you rub it together it sounds like sandpaper. So I really wanted to work with that stock and tried on every other laser printer that was in the university, even inkjet, and it just came out horrific. Like you couldn't even read the text. So I was about to kind of push that idea to the side and just have it more of like a textured feel and a printed texture. But then when I came to print on the OKI, I was actually able to print onto like the tiniest little kind of 6-point text font and it'd still be readable.
You know, we live in a digital world, but there's nothing like touching a physical piece of work to get the creative excited. You know, so it's been fantastic. You know, we have great feedback from industry when they see the quality of the work, they see the actual physicality of the work rather than just a digital PDF. So in terms of my teaching, it gives me freedom. It means I can ask and suggest and support the students in producing ideas, outcomes, in trialling things, in experimenting. You know, it's a tool for expression as well as a tool for production.
One of our second year briefs was a competition brief. I decided to go for the ISTD one, which is the International Society of Typographic Design. And the brief that they gave us was entitled Lost, which is quite ambiguous. I ended up going down the route of lost memory in the form of Alzheimer's. So I made an editorial book, a publication, which was entitled Lost to Alzheimer's, and on every page there were extracts from people's experiences, or I'd taken some quotes that people had given me in their feedback, and then decided to manipulate them in certain ways so that they looked like what the words were trying to say. I decided to use the OKI printer specifically for white ink and the spot gloss clear ink as well, because in the particular Lost to Alzheimer's project, it enabled me to print straight onto a coloured stock.
So it did make a difference because I didn't really need to worry about the paper stocks I was choosing in terms of what they were coated with. So I could pick a 350 GSM, a shiny coated paper or a matte paper, and know that I could put it through a LED laser printer. When it comes to doing packaging, not having to kind of reinforce that packaging with anything, just being able to print on the paper itself and have a physical mock-up rather than a digital mock-up was really good for your design process.
Ollie and Lily in the last year have produced projects that wouldn't have been possible before the OKI printer. In the last couple of years we've seen a numerical improvement in overall satisfaction. It's very important for us. We have a national student survey which measures the student satisfaction in the course. It also measures the student's satisfaction with resources, and we've seen a year-on-year improvement of that. So 2017, 2018, from there we've improved 6 points in satisfaction. So overall satisfaction on the course now is at 90%, and with resources is at 90%, which is phenomenal for a big course with lots of students. To be hitting those targets for the majority of them is fantastic.
It has made a massive difference to students. They're satisfied with it. Our NSS score, which is quite critical in the sector, has gone up. I think part of that is the fact that we're now putting in a very robust print system, and which the OKI is part of. It allows students to kind of realise their ideas and actually keep control of it.
We have seen an increase in applications, and this year we have an increase in numbers of students that are on the first year, so quite a significant increase. So it's down to fabulous teaching as well, but it's always supported by the kit, the technicians that we have in place.
We've got a per-click kind of setup for the prints. It works out really well. In fact, the level of what we're paying for the 5-colour printer is less than what we're paying for a 4-colour printer of a different manufacturer. So it's actually very cost effective for us. We were looking at leasing them originally, but we went to ATL, which is down in I think it's West Sussex, and they provide the kind of maintenance for us. And dealing with Matt at ATL has been brilliant. It's been really good.
I think when a student's got an idea and they don't think it's possible to produce, and then a technician talks them through what a piece of kit can do for them, and they realise suddenly that their idea is going to come to life, it literally is, and it sounds like a cliche, but it is a joyful moment for them, because seeing your work in its physical form, there's no greater reward at the end of 3 years than to see a portfolio of practice that's living and breathing and representing your ideas and thinking.
The printer has exceeded our expectations, definitely. It offers a new thing that we can do, and we can do effectively, cost effectively as well, and the students love it.
I will definitely be using the OKI printers this year to create my portfolio and to create work to go into my portfolio, because I've used it for 2 projects so far, and I think they're probably the 2 best projects out of any work that I've created before. Everything you design, it comes out really clear, it comes out really crisp. Nothing that you've designed on screen is lost.
And that's what I've now come to realise after using it for the last 7 months. It's actually possible. You can all do it in-house in this university. You not have to use external kind of products and external kind of printing because you can do it all here.
I would recommend it to other universities and other institutions. I think it's something that students really value. We've seen it.
It's an absolute no-brainer for me. The opportunity this provides the students with for really great value, I would hand on heart just say, get one of these printers in your art course. If you're graphic arts, if you any kind of creative course that requires students to think outside the digital and articulate and realise outcomes in the physical form, and to not be limited by a standard digital print, you know, to see this as a specialist tool. Yeah, 100%, get one.